Say hi, everybody. It's Mary Long here with the Plein Air Painters Chicago. And this is really our first with this season, our first critique. So we have a few new faces. It's nice to have everyone on board with us. And tonight we have Errol Jacobson, who did the demo on Saturday. And now tonight we'll do a critique of work. We do have work coming in from places other than the demo that initially wasn't the idea, but since we have members now from as far away as Germany and soon to have one in Ecuador and all over the United States, that there's really no way that we can say just only do things in Chicago. So which is kind of exciting for us, but it is a new piece for us to try to figure out. So without further ado, I would like to introduce Errol Jacobson. And Errol, why don't you talk about a little bit about yourself before you get started? Talk about your own background and then go ahead and start the critique.
Sure. Thanks, Mary. Hi, everybody. Well, a lot of you know me. A lot of you know who I am. And so I've been with the Plein Air Painters since 2006. So I've been plein air painting for, 15 years. And it's a very important part of my practice. I do more studio painting than plein air painting. There's a couple of big pieces behind me. I do big pieces for my photographs. When I go out and plein air paint, I don't use those paintings for studies, even though a lot of painters do their studies into larger paintings. I like the immediacy and the discovery of working on a painting from the start. And if I take a study and enlarge it, for me, it loses the energy, it loses the newness, the excitement, and I'm too familiar with it. So I like to work from direct. So that being said, I've been painting over 40 years. I started late. I started when I was 30 years old. I couldn't draw a straight line. I took classes. I don't have an art degree or anything like that. But if I added up all my classes, I'd have like 2 doctorates. I've always taken classes at the Palette and Chisel. I started off in Skokie at the Village Art School, all kinds of classes, all kinds of teachers over the years. But really got serious about my art in 2005 when I joined the Palette and Chisel, and doing figure drawing and portraits, and then fell into plein air too. So and I continue on, and I just want to say I think plein air painting is super important to whatever kind of art you do. If you're a figure painter, a portrait painter, landscapes, still lifes, even abstract. The plein air painting is so integral to our practice because it teaches us to be all kinds of things. It teaches us how to see. We're observing from nature. We're not just looking at a photograph and painting it. So we know how nature operates. You can see things in nature that you'll never see in a photograph. And our founder, Scott Tallman Powers, used to say when he was watching someone do a figure in an open workshop studio, there'd be 20 painters or whatever. He could tell who the plein air painters were because they were able to go in right away and attack. Not that speed is the answer, but it's valuable. So I couldn't do the studio paintings I do without having all the plein air in my background. So I don't paint quite as much plein air as I used to, get out quite as much as I used to, but I still go out. And with that being said, I have this little pad here. I said I was going to do this for years. I finally started doing it. And as I'm driving around in the city or wherever I am, I'll notice, like for instance, I put St. Mary's Church, looking south down the alley, late afternoon sun. I was going by St. Mary's Church here in Bucktown. I live in Bucktown, north side of Chicago. And I noticed the dome was lit up. And I went in the alley and I looked at it. This is gonna be a great painting. I didn't have my gear with me or anything. I just happened to notice it. So I came home, I jotted it down, the subject, what direction I'm looking, and the time of day. And I have like uh, um, Lake and State, Chicago Theater, From the North, Looking South, Wells and Kinsey, Chop House, Morning Light, Sunny Day, 9 a.m. That's when I saw the light there, and the light's important because if I went there at, if I saw something at 9 I liked, if I get there at 3, it's not going to be the same. So just thought I'd pass that along. So the only other thing I want to say, I'm looking forward to doing a critique. I've already looked at all the paintings, a lot of good work. And so, I just want to say that my word is not the end all be all. It's just kind of like, I'll give you my opinion. You can take it or leave it. And, I don't critique on anybody's style. We all have our own style. I don't paint like you. You don't paint like me. You know, um, we're all going different directions, but there are certain things that can be helpful that are common to all our work. Composition, values, drawing, simplification, edges. The standard stuff that we can talk about no matter what your style is like, whether you're a super loose, painter or you're a real tight renderer. There's certain things that are in common. So with that being said, all right, so we have the first one here. This is, can I see, before I brought this up, I know whose this is, but it's Ray's. Mary, does it say, when I bring it up, Mary, can you tell me whose it is? Because I don't
Yes,
see it.
yeah, and this is Ray's. He called it Pride, 8 by
Okay.
10 Cassine on masonite board.
Okay, great. Ray, are you here?
I haven't seen him.
Okay, so I'll talk about this. Yeah, I was talking to Ray out when we were out in the field at, what's the name of that park?
Giddings.
Yeah, Giddings Park Square. So this is a really nice painting. I thought it was, well executed, well drawn. It's an old Chicago 2-flat. I mean, we've seen these a million times. And, he was obviously attracted to the flag and I think the flag mostly, and the steps and the sun hitting it. So the strong points of this. Oh, also I want to say that when I see pictures on the computer, I'm looking at an image on my computer. Now, it may not be accurate as far as value and color, but this is all I have to go off of. So I'm gonna go with what I see in front of me. It might look different in person. I'm sure it would. He's using cassines, which are I think they're a water-based paint. They dry fast, so I think overall the painting is strong. Here's the focal point. Um, I think something that can help this painting a lot is that if he would have stood back another 2 or 3 feet and captured the sidewalk as well, so there would be like this, the bottom step wouldn't come right into take you right out of the frame. And it would kind of have an area to lead you in. If he stepped back, then it would be a little wider over here too. And it would reduce the size. He would, take a little more in. So I think that would be helpful from that standpoint. The other thing I talked to him about this in the field is be careful. I know it's a sunny day because he has sun, the steps are sunlit. Be careful with your white on a sunny day. A lot of people want to use white, and white is a cool color. So you want to use mix up take a yellow or an orange or yellow, orange, and red, and get a nice light value and warm up those stripes. Let's see. Also, I think now see, I can't tell. I would like to see this a little darker underneath here, and a little cooler. But it might be in person. Might be the way it's showing up on the screen. I really like the way he captured this curtain. We've all seen these lace curtains, kind of like old school. And so I think it's a good job. Also, if he comes down a little bit, and makes steps back a few feet, the flag is going to be up in the rule of thirds. One, if you divide this in thirds, three this way, and three this way. The idea is to have your focal point here, 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 or here. And I mean, it's not a rule, but a lot of people use that. And this would be more a little bit further up. So yeah, a little whiter, maybe a little warmer on some of the stripes, and watch out for the white. Okay, moving along. Okay, who's this?
That's mine, Simon.
Simon. Okay, Mary, can you hear me? Mary.
Yes, it's, yes, and it's
Yeah.
Simon's painting.
Okay,
9
and
by
then
12.
watercolor.
Yes,
Yes,
9 by
yes.
12.
What size?
9 by 12.
Okay, okay. So hi, Simon. So okay, so nice little painting. You know, I know it's a sunny day. You know, people are sitting on the bench enjoying the weather. You know, great. You know, I mean, it's you know, it's a pleasant scene. You know, very colorful. So when I looked at this painting, I can tell you a few things. One thing right off the bat is when we're doing architecture. Now, I don't do watercolor at all. I've never done watercolor, so I can't talk to you about technique. But I can talk to you that keep the lines, the verticals straight on the building. You see how this kind of go, it's kind of wonky, you know. This one's a little straighter, but this post is leaning in. It might be the way you took the photograph, possibly. I'm not sure. But keep your lines straight. Also, be careful on tangents. By tangents, I mean where this line and this line meet, you know, or, well, that's one. So you don't want lines to go to meet, edges to meet like that. So what I would do is I would take this tree and I maybe take it over in certain areas, you know, come, even if you don't see it that way, then, you know, go ahead and edit it that way when you're painting. The other thing is to simplify. I'm going to talk a lot about simplification because right now you've got a lot of like strokes and a lot of patterns going all over the place. You want some quiet areas for your eye to rest. I mean, this is kind of quiet right here, relatively so. But all the splotchy shadow work, I think it'd be stronger if you would group your shadows together and make them one value. Because usually shadows are one value. You know, I mean, this is a shadow on the street. So this is the local color, and your shadow color is going to be flat. So I would say, because the sunlight is coming this way, sun's coming from over here, the shadows are coming here. You need a shadow over here. Now I'm a little confused because there's a shadow coming down here, but then you got a shadow coming over this way. Now, and actually this shadow is coming this way. So you got shadows coming this way, you got shadows coming this way.
Yeah, it's the one above is basically just a shadow of an overhanging balcony there. So that was like shadowing on a perpendicular wall. That's why it's kind of going backwards.
Okay, so that's going that way, and this shadow is going that way.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is try to keep your shadows going in the same direction. That's all.
Yeah.
You know, and the same angle. This angle's coming like this. This angle's pretty close, but you want your shadow. And now there'd be a shadow coming off of this post too, at some place, because it's hard to say. But be aware that the only other thing about this painting is you got we don't want variety is the spice of life. I mean, variety is a spice of life and a spice of artists. We don't want equal distances in our composition. You got a distance here is equal, this is equal, this is equal. See this space to here, pretty equal. Try to divide it, like maybe take this light post, even if you didn't see it, put it over here a little bit. So just, you know, edit it, you know. So that's about all I have to say for that. But nice job. Nice going.
Thanks.
Okay, I'm gonna move ahead. Okay, this is Robin. Robin, you here?
I have not seen her.
Okay, too bad.
Oh, no, she's here. She's here.
Okay,
Probably
where's
just
Robin?
can't get her mute off or something.
Okay, well, as long as you're here, Robin. Hey,
Hey,
so what size is this, Mary? Or Robin, what size is
9
it?
by 12 oil on panel.
Oh, okay, so yeah, I really like this painting, Robin. You know, it's like you know, I've been watching you develop for years, and you know, you're really moving right along. You know, and actually, I was looking at this. So I love the color, I love the energy, the water. I mean, it's just beautiful colors. You know, a little bit maybe is a little bit more idealized. Maybe you know this, but I kind of like it. You pushed it, and you know, used your imagination, and you made it work. Now, some things that could be helpful.
Yeah.
When I first looked at this looked like it was tipped up. But then when I looked at the photograph of it, somebody had a photograph of this fountain. It's not that it was tipped up that much, but this wasn't tipped down. You didn't see this much of the bottom. So
Uh-huh.
you're seeing, this is fine, but this you're seeing too much of the bottom. And it kind of like makes this kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for here? Kind of like this, like a mouth, like a mouth is opening.
Oh,
too.
yeah.
I don't know
Okay.
even know how to. So that's one thing. So watch. I mean, I don't want to change it now, but
Yeah.
something to think about in the future. The one thing that hit me right away about this painting, which is an easy fix, is this blue umbrella back here. Because I'm focusing on this, I keep wanting to look at that blue umbrella. I would say knock down your value and your chroma and your edges like you did on this umbrella. Just
Mhm.
kind of like lose it back there. Have it. It doesn't even. You could be a different color than this, or it could be the same color. So it harmonizes. So that would be great. And then the only other thing I would say is, I kind of like the way this tree is coming out of the fountain. I saw a photograph of this. It kind of looks like the tree is growing out of the fountain. I think that maybe if we take the tree and extend it over the sky over here,
Mhm.
and maybe with a few little sky holes, if you take
Oh.
your hand and you cover that part, I think it's really going to increase it. And then maybe put a few more darks in the tree back here, which will pop your lights.
Mhm.
And watch out for these hard edges on your water. Maybe take a palette knife and kind of like scrape across it a little bit, like this is a
Okay.
really good one right here, and this is really good here, this is cool the way it's twisting around, so just watch out for the hard edges. And oh, then also the light's coming this way, right? Yeah.
Yeah, kind of, sort of.
Yeah, so it's hard to tell which, but be careful that we don't get too hot down here.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I can't tell which way the light's coming. If this is lit up, this would be lit up. So if this is in shadow and that's in shadow, this would probably be in shadow too. So maybe you've got to like possibly make this a little darker down here, and
Okay.
keep it cool. Keep it cool. Yeah. So
Okay,
good job,
so-
Robert. It's a nice one.
All right, thanks a lot.
Great. Okay, so this is, who's this? Oh, I can see it here.
Mine. Yeah.
Ishan?
Yeah.
Am I pronouncing that right?
Yeah.
Ishan? Okay, hi. Yeah, yeah, this is out in the park, I mean, the square where we were, and this is watercolor, I believe. And, it kind of like tells a story of people sitting out in the park with the square. I see what's going on, and I like the sketchiness of this and the looseness of it, and it's kind of free, so it's great, The thing about this, now, whether you wanted to do this on purpose or not, I don't know. But it looks like you're on the third floor looking down. It looks like you're way up here because your perspectives are going up like this. So consequently, if you don't want it on the third floor, if you want to get more like you have to pay a little more attention to your horizon line. Established, I think you were sitting down, if I'm not mistaken. But if you were at eye level with all of these people, then I mean, I'm not there. I can't see the scene, but I know I'm looking down on this scene. So you pay attention to the perspective. Also, it might help foreground, middle ground, background. This is the foreground, sort of the middle ground, sort of the background. So I think you want it in the foreground. You can maybe possibly just define the edge of this a little bit. I mean, you got a lot going on in here. If you just like maybe like see how you got a shadow there and you're sitting on this ledge, maybe define, but the shadow's down here over here. So the shadow is, maybe you just need to like define that edge here a little more, and maybe have their feet the same place as their feet, so they all look like you're sitting on the same plane. That would help. And then I love this tree, love this tree, love this tree, don't like this tree. I think this tree is just like, it's a strong shape and it's kind of like distracting. It's kind of like pulling me over to this side. So I think if you just kind of like, I probably can't do it now, but in the future, be careful of making these edges too hard and, you know, not organic, where this kind of just looks like kind of like a 2x4, like a board standing straight up, where these have beautiful organic qualities. Also, the sunlight, it's hard to tell about the direction. I think the sunlight was coming from here, from here, it was coming from here down, because this is in shadow. I'm not sure about the sunlight, which way it's going. So, be aware of that. And maybe you want to like group some of these shadows. If this is in shadow right here, maybe group it together a little bit more, possibly. But it's got a really nice poetic feel. It's very pretty to look at. And I think, take those things into, and maybe it's all right to be looking down on it like this. I mean, it doesn't really bother me unless you didn't want it, can you hear me? Can you hear
Yeah,
me?
I can hear you. I have this tendency to to accidentally make things to look down on. This has happened at least three times in the past, so I have to get better at this.
All right, so I caught you.
Yeah.
So when you go out next time, really practice on establishing your horizon line and make sure everything below your horizon line goes there to the horizon line, and everything above it comes down to the horizon line. And think about if you were sitting here, this is like up at a 45-degree angle. This far edge would be down here someplace, you see? So figure out what the distance is from this edge to this edge. That'll help you out. And buy a perspective book and take some perspective classes or watch some videos online. Learn 1 point, 2 point perspective. Don't worry about 3 point. Okay?
Okay.
Nice job. Keep going. Okay, so this is Elizabeth. Okay. I can't
Yeah.
tell.
Hi, Errol.
Hi,
Yeah.
Elizabeth. This is a 9x12, right?
Yeah, and it's oil pastel on board.
Well, yeah, I remember talking to you. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is really a sweet little painting. I mean, it really says it all. The fountain's so much fun to paint, and you got a lot of good things going on here. Good color, but there's some issues that could definitely make this, take what you have here and make it even better than it is. A couple things right away. This tree right here, this tree here is like, I really feel it's kind of organic, This tree, I feel, again, is just, maybe it might have been straight like that, but maybe possibly, I don't know, maybe not so hard edge possibly. I know it's in front here, and maybe observe the color. And, a lot of people, myself included, used to paint trees brown. But if you really study trees and you look outside, they're pinks, they're greens. I mean, you have the green here, but they're pinks and reds and greens and blues. So, try, and you can divide it up a little here, but maybe this tree is just taking too prominent of a position. And maybe I would have maybe dropped it down just a little bit. It was right near this edge. Now, me personally, I wouldn't have put it in these concrete barriers like this. Well, maybe I have to because it's concrete. Yeah, I guess I would. Sorry, I take that back. So, but maybe they could be softened. Okay, but the big problem with this painting is all this back here. Horizontal, 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 horizontal. Let me get this out of the way first. See all these darks right here? Dark, 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 dark. That is way, 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 way too dark. Even if you saw it that dark, we want to like lighten those darks, and try not to use white either, so they recede. Because right now, when I look at that, they're just really strong shapes. So we want the attention on the fountain. So what we want to do is pump up the chroma. You got a light there, your light there, your light there, your light there. Really pump up that heat on that, and harden your edges and darken cool off your shadows. Harder edges, more material. And then in the back here, I know this was tricky because there was a board back there. Well, we don't have to paint what's there.
Yeah, right.
The board wasn't attractive, and no one's going to know. I mean, no one's gonna know by looking at, well, we know, I know because it was a border. So you kind of like painted that building behind it. I would say simplify this whole building back there and maybe possibly just like once you pump up this chroma, figure out something like reduce the edges and reduce the chroma and send it back, you know, and write the values back there. And this will bring this forward. Now, when you bring this forward, maybe this tree isn't going to look so hard anymore. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, but I love how you did this tree. This is beautiful. This tree, I feel like you didn't quite put as much effort into it or something, you know, and maybe it just needs to be a little bit, even if you don't see it that way, just a little bit more organic.
Okay.
So, but otherwise, yeah, be careful on getting the darks too dark and, you know, concentrate on your focal point. Oh, one other thing, this is just my own personal thing. I might have taken that tree off the edge, so it wasn't right along the edge. So I saw some light, some of the light building behind it.
Oh,
And
okay.
that would give you another area of middle ground, foreground, middle ground, background. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd see around that tree.
Mm-hmm.
And then keep in mind, the thinner something is, the light's going to wrap around it. It's going to wrap around it. You know, it can't completely block all the light. Okay.
Right.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thanks. Thank you.
Okay, my pleasure. There's the fountain. Robin, you see this? Well, I don't know if Robin sees that, but
Yes,
this
I
is-
see it. In fact, that was my photo.
Oh, it's okay. So I
Yeah.
think you showed more of the underneath than before than in your painting, I think, you know, but because you do
Yeah.
see down into it, but maybe this isn't quite as much. Okay, so moving along here.
Mhm.
Okay, Linda, are you?
Hi, Errol. Yes, I'm here.
Oh, Linda's not here?
I am. Hi,
Oh,
Errol.
yeah, hi, Linda. Yeah, hi, Linda. I was talking to you out in the field and we had a conversation about monochromatic painting and how valuable it can be to all of us to do monochromatic painting studies, either in, a traditional color palette would be ultramarine blue and burnt umber, or ultramarine blue and transparent red oxide with the addition of white. You can get really nice range of colors there, really deep darks. Or you could use one color, which I think you used here. Or you can use raw umber, works really well to make up 3 values. So nice value study. I'm going to click ahead here. Here's the photograph and go back, and here's the painting. Okay, photograph. Look at the value difference between this and this. I know this is a photograph, but I'm gonna, I'm sure it was pretty dark. And see this value. We'll say this is a dark value. We'll go light, medium, dark, dark, light, medium, dark, light, medium. 3 values. Okay. I feel here you got kind of like 2 values. I feel you can push your values. And I think we were talking about this even on the one you were doing of the square. So I think next time you go out, try pushing your darks. Even put your darks in really dark. Like look at the dark under these boats. Like if you squint down, squint your eyes. This is really dark compared to this. And you get these beautiful edges, this beautiful edge here. Also, if you look out in this painting, you squint down, this is almost like a canopy, okay? Whereas here, you kind of got like, it looks just like a bush. You didn't take advantage of that. I would have taken that all the way over and ran it into, kind of like ran it into this tree. So, so good drawing. You really drew well. I love the shapes of the boats, just beautiful. The tree's good. I just think you need to push your lights lighter and your darks darker. Okay.
Sounds good. Thanks, Errol.
Well, with those monochromatics, and it's good for all. Even if you do a monochromatic study, once a week, or something. Even you're working with a full color palette. I need to do more of those myself, even when you're doing the figure. Also, for all you folks that don't do figure drawing or portrait drawing, I strongly advise you to take a figure drawing or a portrait drawing class. And because it will only make you a better plein air painter, because we can't cheat when we draw the figure. We can't make the arms too long. We could draw a tree. I can draw the tree. You're never gonna know. You get my point. Okay, so this is Sue. Sue, are you here? All right, I don't think so. Okay. Well, I think this is really, really a pretty painting. Nice use of color. You know, it's got a lot of energy and a lot of vigorous brushwork. It might be pastel. I can't tell. It could be pastel. It could be. I don't know what. Does anybody know what this is, Mary? Does it say? Looks like pastel.
It just, yeah, it does not say what it is. Just
Okay, okay. So this painting, the thing with this painting, I don't know where to look. So when we're doing a painting, we want a focal point. We want the viewer to go someplace. But where I'm really going, where I want to go is back here. That's where I want to go. Why do I want to go back there? Because everything's leading me back there. This line right along here leads there. This line leads there. This line, this line. Everything's pointing to that direction. And you got this poor young girl who looks like she's super depressed, sitting on the ledge. Poor thing, you know. I mean, she was just kind of like, I don't know, just like failed her algebra class or something. Anyway, so how do we correct this? First of all, simplification. There's a lot of energy throughout. Think about putting some quiet areas in every once in a while. For instance, in the sunlight. I love this color here against this shadow color. You got the cool and you got the warm. Warm doesn't necessarily mean hot, hot, hot. It's the relationship from this to that. If I say what's cooler, you're going to say that's cooler than that. She's got this really hot yellow down here and this really hot yellow back there, which kind of like bookends this and kind of like, I don't know, divides the painting. I think if she would have taken this and made this all yellow right here, I mean, not yellow, this pinkish color here, and made it nice and smooth here, I would not put the woman in there, or the young lady. It wasn't necessary, I don't think, because I want to bring it back here. If she wanted to be about the young lady, it would have been a different painting. So think about where you want the viewer to go, what you want the viewer to look at, and then when you take them to where they're going, give them something to look at. Now she has a painter back there. Maybe she could pump up the lightness and the chroma on that painter. Also, I wouldn't make this so yellow because she's explaining this is light and now that's yellow. If she sandwiches this color here with this pink, it'll be a prettier painting. And then careful on this tree. It's kind of like falling off, like it's way back here, but this is coming way like 20 feet this way. I think it just is a little bit out of perspective and the roundness. And she could group the shadows also, simplify the shadows. The drawing is out of proportion. You know, this is, I'm being very critical here. So we got to watch our drawing. She has it kind of like half and half. When I get to a later painting, there's another artist here that really nailed this pose. And you can see that's where figure drawing comes in handy. I know there's other artists, Kuhn, painted this light post just beautifully. And I know he's a serious figure painter. And he was able to look at this and get the proportions right on that. Okay, moving along. Okay, this is Todd. Todd, are you here?
Yep, I'm here.
Hey, Todd. Hey, beautiful painting. I mean, this painting I think is very successful. It's got a good, strong design, good, strong, simplified. See how he simplified all the light, simplified the shadows, grouped pretty much everything together. A little variation. Good edges underwater. Probably used just a little palette knife work there. Really nice sense of depth. I'm going right back into the painting. You know, edges are softer back here. As we go further away, they can't be as hard as when you're closer up. Just beautiful. Yeah, really nice. Now, that being said, there's always something we can do, you know, to improve. And the thing that I think on this painting that kind of bothers me is this over here. Because what's happening is these are such strong shapes, and especially when they're silhouetted, the dark silhouetted by the light. And I'm not sure what that is, but I mean, it's a building of some sort. So I would just like to see that, like maybe just tone it down a little bit and maybe soften the edges. And then this tree here, You could get this maybe a little bit darker, but you see how I can see back here? I think if you take that, even if you didn't see, if there was something blocking it, bring this over here too. So this is back, so the background, even up to here. So, you know, we can see back there into the distance. And then if you soften this a little bit and maybe lighten up this a little bit here, especially these hard edges right there, that's really gonna help. The only other thing you could do is if you wanted to take a palette knife and just like get a really nice sharp edge right in the front, you know, that's going to be like, because this is the closest thing to us. So that's gonna be the darkest and sharpest here too. You know? So I think that, you know, that might help because sharper edges here are even gonna make these look even further back. You know, love the people, love this guy right here, love the softness. Good job.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Todd. Okay, this is Andrea. I can't see all the names. I think it's Andrea.
Yes, Andrea
Yeah,
Zarnitz.
Andrea, yeah. I can only see half the name over.
Yeah, 9x12 oil.
Yeah, this is really a pretty floral painting, and you know, just the way it is, it's beautiful. But this has such potential to be even stronger. And one of the things we can do is when we have a pattern like this and we have a bunch of leaves, we don't have to explain every leaf for the viewer to understand it. Now, if we just define a few of these, like really, when you sort of did it down here, like with really hard edges, not a lot of them, not every one of them, but the ones that are closest, maybe one here, maybe an edge here, you know, figure out where you want to go and define it. And then that's going to bring those forward. So you'll have a foreground and then you'll have a middle ground, then you'll have a background. Now, the thing that's really going to be really beautiful about this painting, you got this red color here, which is just so pretty. If you bring some of that red, it looks like you had it there, but bring it a little bit stronger into like some of these areas, you know? So it kind of like will, once you bring that red back there, I think it's going to pop some of these forward. And also it'll, maybe these stems are a little wide, so maybe narrow those down a little bit, you know, but yeah, bring some of that red in, you know, play around with it, or maybe some of this color, you know, if you don't want to have it all one color. And then, you know, get some of this beautiful brushwork here with a few harder edges. And I think you'll have a, you know, a great painting. It is a great painting, but even better. Okay?
Thank you. Thanks, Errol.
Yeah, my pleasure. Very pretty. Okay, this is Kathy?
No, this is Mike Smith.
No, it's not
No,
Mike.
it's Kathy Smith.
Yeah,
Oh.
Kathy, is that you?
Yes.
Yeah, hi, Kathy. So,
Hi.
yeah, so Kathy, we were painting right next to each other, and I came over and looked at this painting, and I thought it was just great, you know? I love the way she took like this, you know, simple little, you know, vignette, you know, of the doorstep, and really captured just like the, you know, the stillness. It's a real poetic painting, and just a beautiful job. I'm glad that you, I made a suggestion. You and I were going to do it anyways, that you extended the steps. That's just great, the way you extended those steps and the way this is done, very simple, you know, without defining every post. You're kind of suggesting things. And I like that kind of painting myself, as opposed to every post outline. Now, some people might like that. It's fine, you know. I mean, there's super realists and there's impressionists and there's people that are abstract. So anything goes, but you're kind of like, you know, indicating it without really showing it, which is really cool. Let's see. So this, I just love this right here. This is a hassock right here. And this is a garbage can, right, Kathy?
Right.
Right. And we talked about this. And, you know, listen, it's your painting and I love it, but I'm just telling you, everybody would paint this differently. You know,
Yeah.
I don't think I could paint this as good as you paint. I just love the way you paint it. I personally wouldn't have put the hassock in there. I would have had the stool there with a light lit up and maybe a leg here. This would allow the viewer to walk up the steps into the set. This is kind of a blocker. I don't mind the
Okay.
dark here so much, but this is a blocker. And also, this could really be a very interesting, tell a story. You could even, maybe put a cup of coffee, maybe make a table there and put a cup of coffee there in, or a bottle of wine or something. Where is that person? It's kind of like it asks questions, why is that chair empty? It's such a beautiful day. So we can think about that when we're painting, telling stories. That will engage the viewer too. It's not only just about copying what we see. So it's fine to keep the hassock there. If you're going to keep the hassock there, I just think this is a little bit, blues are hard to make warm. So we got the warm light. This looks kind of cool. I don't know, maybe somehow put a leg down there, or I'm not sure how to do it, because right now it just kind of looks, I don't know if it really reads hassock, but it's something you could decide on, what you want to do, but I love the way you did this. You could pop the flowers a little bit possibly. Also be careful in this green over here. This is nice sunlight, love this, hitting this. Maybe put a few darks under here too, because the light's coming this way, so it'll give it a little bit of form. Okay, and then love the numbers. Great job with the numbers. Okay, wonderful.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, this is Shannon. Are you here, Shannon?
Yep, I'm here.
So yeah, love this painting. Really, really powerful painting. It almost has like a not Art Nouveau, not Art Deco, arts and crafts. It's got an arts. I can see this in an arts and crafts frame. Just beautiful. Selling for like $30,000 on Antiques Roadshow.
Well, that would be nice.
Beautiful. Just really, really well done. I don't really have much to say about it. I could be really picky. I could say maybe a few more drops of water coming down, possibly. There is something that I can say. So this tree is just, I like it. I like the tree. I like, and this is the thing. Shannon is also a figure painter. You can tell that she understands proportions. So it's very important to get, we got our proportions, right. This edge, this is the edge of the fountain. This is that bottom lip. I think that if you would just put a little lip, a little light right there, along, that's going to like make this go down. That'll show the sunlight and that'll send that tree back. And then maybe just soften the tree a little bit, just a little bit, not much, other than that, it's nice job. Oh. Did it have a dip like there, right there, like that?
It does. It's got a little notch cut out.
Oh, okay, cool. Nice. Yeah. That's cool. Nice temperature value. Hot, cool. Look how she did warms for our temperatures, the people that are struggling with temperatures. Warm, nice, cool colors go back, warm colors come forward. Nice and warm, nice and hot, nice hard edge. She didn't do the edge straight across. She kind of lost it. And here, no edge, fine. She'll put a little edge down here to bring that in front. Water splashing, a little, maybe put a little edge over here possibly to bring this in front of the tree. Just, I'll let you figure that one out. But good job. Okay, nice. Okay. Marcy, is Marcy here? Probably not.
No,
Okay.
she's not.
Okay, so all right, we'll just pass on this one for now. Well, maybe I'll talk about it just quickly. Just on this one, we got to be careful. I know I talked to Marcy out in the field. She said to me, I just can't stop putting everything in, all the detail. And she said, I need not to put so much in. Well, she does put a lot of detail in, but maybe that's her signature, That's okay. I mean, I know it's her painting because I've seen her do this before. If she wants to change, if she doesn't want to put as much detail in, then she's got to simplify and just allow her a few things, just to put a few people in and maybe just less detail. So that would be an experiment. I suggested that to her. Come out and do a painting just as a study, and don't put so much information in, you know. That being said, she has to be careful. The fountain's leaning to the right. This building is going uphill. This goes back to the horizon line. It goes down. It should go up. This should go up because this is eye level. So everything's kind of, this should go up like this. This should go up like this. This is probably going down too hard, too fast. This is going up. It should be coming down. This is going up too far. This should be almost perpendicular. So for those of you who have struggled with perspective, get yourself a good simplified perspective book. Just learn 1 and 2 point perspective. This is 2 point perspective. We got going to this horizon line, going to this horizon. So yeah, otherwise it's a very pretty painting. It's just there's 3 paintings here. You got this painting, you kind of got this here, and you got a painting about the umbrella. So maybe just a little simplification, you know, or deciding what she wanted to paint. Okay, so that's that. Here's that fountain again. Okay, Kuhn. Kuhn, you're here. I saw it. Yeah, hi. It's a great little painting, Kuhn. I mean, you draw so well, you know. I mean, this is like for you guys that need work in drawing, you know, just Kuhn really, this has got a very hopperish feel to it. And Kuhn just really draws just beautifully, and he's accurate. And you know, so you know, we can all learn a lesson here. Look at the lamppost. You can just, that other lamppost I talked about was a little squat. He got the proportion. Here's the head, you know, here's the feet, you know, here's waistline, you know, right here. You know, when you draw the figure, you got the head, you got the feet, and you got to know where, you know, where the middle of the body is, where the top is. So you have to divide it. So when you go out there and you're painting this thing, say you want mark your top, mark your bottom, find your middle, you know, take a measurement. You know, this isn't in the middle. Some people, I think some people put this way up here, you know. So very important to do proportions. Okay, that being said, the light's coming from here, boom, down this way. Okay, this bush, the thing that could make this painting better, this bush is really lit up. I mean, it's a beautiful color, but it would be in shadow on this side. So this has to be killed, you know, more, you know, more a darker, cooler value, and it could have some lighter colors over here, maybe a little over here if you want to silhouette that post. And then the only other thing, and I'm being picky here, but and I'm not even sure if I really feel that way or not. I was going to say that my eye wants to go up to this space, and maybe just break up the space a little bit more. I think you could possibly do it because this tree goes out over here, and this maybe you could have another limb. It wouldn't be too far fetched if it came over a little bit, just slightly, just to break it up so you don't have quite this larger space. Okay. And then the only other thing is his shirt is pretty hot, and he's in the sun's coming here, so this might be a little cooler. Now the canvas he's painting on would be hot because the light's coming through it. You know, I can believe that, but maybe this has to be a little cooler. Okay. You know, just slightly. By making this cooler, it'll make this even hotter over here. Make that hotter there. Okay. Yeah, nice one. Thank you. Yeah. Appreciate it. Oh yeah. Okay, so Karen, this is so pretty. You know, it's just I love real nice use of greens here. You know, blue greens, green greens. I remember years ago, I went to an OPA event for Plein Air, Oil Painters of America. They have regional plein air deals where members have people out to paint plein air from different chapters. And we went out to this woman's house and painted. What the heck's his name? A really, really good painter. Can't forget his name. But anyways, he was doing a critique. And he said, look around at all the greens. There's blue greens, there's yellow greens, there's, you know, purple greens, there's green greens. I mean, next time you go out and you paint greens, observe the greens. Just look out your window. You don't even have to be painting. Paint without a brush and observe all the greens. She really caught all those greens. Are you here, Karen?
Oh, yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, you caught all those greens just beautifully. And I just love, you know, and I love the focal point. I'm going right to that flower. Why am I going to that flower? Because if you've got all green, basically, in dull colors, and you got this pop of color right there, my eye is going to go right there. And this kind of breaks the rules because it's kind of in the middle, but it works. Someone said you got to put the focal point there, here, there, or there. She put it right pretty much in the middle, and it works fine. Rules are made to be broken. So that being said, I mean, I only think, you know, again, maybe it's different when I look at this in person. A few more darks, I think, possibly. Maybe when I squint down, I'm not seeing any darks. I'm seeing a lot of, yeah, just, it's kind of like one value, sort of, you know. I'm seeing the light here, which is fine, but maybe a few darks would be helpful. But other than that, that's about it. Good job. Beautiful painting.
Thank you.
Moving ahead. Okay, this is Abby, right?
Hi, I'm here.
Yeah, hey. So you were painting right behind me.
Yes.
I was painting the same thing. Copycat. I'm teasing you. I'm glad you painted it. And that's sometimes good to paint. If someone does a demo to paint the same thing they paint, if possible. You don't have to, because not everybody could get the same space. Okay, so I think you did a beautiful job of this.
Yeah.
It's really, I'm going to like use my annotator here, and I'm going to use the draw tool. Oops, I don't want to do that. Want to see a beautiful painting? Right there. That's a beautiful painting. Okay. I mean, or maybe even a little further on, in my opinion. Okay, back to draw clear. Yeah. Okay, so it's okay. Oops. Oh, okay. Okay, so really great person, love the dog. Let's talk about the thing that this painting, and I think I talked to you a little bit about this out in the field. This is so hot over here, so hot and so light. This is in shadow, right? You see how cool this is? This is almost as hot as her dress, all right? This is the sunlight, this is the shadow side. You need to cool this off. You need to get this cooler, bluer, more violet, and lighter, okay? And then when you do that, it's going to change this a little bit. I think this has to be, I mean, this is okay here. I think this has to be, you know, you'll see it when you'll make a decision, but, you know, maybe not quite as light as this, maybe a little darker. Don't forget, the lightest thing is the sky. The next lightest area is the street. And the darkest area are your verticals. You don't want your verticals, unless it's got direct sunlight on it. I mean, there are exceptions to the rule, to be as light as this, all right? So I think you just need to quiet, if you're not gonna cut this down, just quiet these edges and this whole area down. So I'm just looking here. Because whenever you have a figure in a painting, any painting, you're automatically gonna be drawn to that figure. Okay, now the other thing is, you could force the perspective on this a little bit more. This is good, but you could bring the perspective. Can you guys all see what I'm doing here? If I go down like this, I don't need to draw the line. Maybe I'll draw the line.
We can see it.
Okay, I want to try the line.
You mean the path would widen up more?
Yeah. And these buildings, are all gonna go down to the vanishing point. This is the vanishing point right there. This is like gonna come straight. This is gonna come down to the vanishing point. This here. High level. So this line right here is really gonna force that perspective back there. It's gonna be wider back here. Now, you know, I probably got the dog there, so I'm accommodating the dog. I could put it right there, and the dog's on the grass. But you get the idea.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so let me clear this. Clear all drawings. Okay, cool. All right. And simplify. Not all these strokes. Not all these, try to, you know, this is in shadow, make it all one shape, you know. Not so many, this color, this color, this color, this color, this color, this color. Simplify it, this color, you know. And the trees are not, this is in shadow, too red. Keep them cooler. Remember what direction your light is coming from. Right up, where is the light coming from? Coming from here. Maybe it's coming from here. Which direction is the light coming from? I'm getting to. It's coming from here because this is in shadow.
Right, the light.
She's lit up there. She's lit up there. Did a great job in his little. This is just, yeah, really good job. Okay. All right. So moving on.
Thank you.
Okay. So this is Howard. Howard, are you here?
Hi.
I got a question for you, Howard. Hi.
Yes.
My question is this a mountain or hill?
Hill.
Hill?
Hills, yes.
Hills, okay. And this is a river, right?
Yes.
Okay, so, great. And were you up high, looking down?
No, I was fairly low.
Okay, so, it looks to me like you're on top of the mountain.
I was a little higher than the river.
Yeah, but you were way up here looking down. If this is your horizon line, you were like up here someplace, looking down. All right, so, I'm gonna go to the annotator again. Now I'm kind of liking this thing. Wow. So, you know, when you go out into the field, look for your big shapes. Try to divide your canvas into. I put this here because I think this, you don't want the eye to go off the canvas. So make that, even if you don't see it that way, make a hill there. Okay. So look at one big shape, two big shapes, three big shapes, four big shapes, five big shapes. See if you can identify, no matter how complicated the scene, break it down into big shapes. Okay, so that, I wanted to show you that. And your perspective is, actually, I really think it should be more like, that would be, you have it going uphill. You got to figure out where your horizon line is, so you have everything going up, where it should be really, really quite a bit lower. I don't see the scene, but you get my drift. You know,
yeah.
Watch your perspective, watch your, you know, set up your horizon line. Because if you were really low, he was below you, this guy, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you were sitting what, about this high right here?
Yeah.
This is Howard right here?
Well, a little back from there, but yes.
Okay, so Howard's eye level is right here. That's your eye level. So
yeah.
if that's your eye level, this is like you're looking at a waterfall up there. That's your eye level. This you're probably right here someplace. Would flatten it out. So Howard, I would suggest that I like all your brush work. It's very energetic. Is practice your perspective. Either take a class or get a book, and when you get out in the field, find your horizon line. and try not to get your angles going too far up at an angle.
Okay.
Okay, and then simplify. As things go back, these hills, as I said, I like to see the hill back here more. Oh, I wanted to. The hill would be back here. This would be lighter and more blurry. And then you can strengthen this over here because this comes in forward. This is one shape, that's another area. So bring this forward, send that back. You do that by softening and making it cooler. Love the sky. Great job on the sky.
Oh,
I
thank
like the
you.
boat too, yeah, great. And then maybe you can make this a little flatter possibly, you know? But yeah, all in all, it's very good. Just a little bit perspective problem. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you, Earl.
You're welcome. So this is Lori's. Lori did a great job on this. Yeah, I really, really love this. I was looking at this with Stephanie and she loved it too. I talked to Lori in the field about this painting and she asked me, this is the same scene that other people painted with the buildings behind it, all boarded up and, you know, those storefronts, same view. She chose just to put the fountain in. It's a painting about the fountain. It's not about a place so much as it is a place, it's a fountain, but it's not like about the fountain in Giddings Square. I mean, it is and it's not. It could be in Italy, you know. We don't need to paint like, yeah, don't necessarily have to paint what's back there. So, so she left everything out and just kind of like, you know, scumbled this in and yeah, it's just beautiful. The only comment, and great job on the water, you know, just splashing, you feel it's rising up and hitting and yeah, just everything about it I like. The only thing maybe a little bit right in here, oops, just a little edge right there, Lori, to bring it in front of that tree. You know, either make the tree darker or make a little line, a small little edge right there. Otherwise, that's it.
What about the bottom? Is the bottom okay? Because I didn't want to make it too detailed. Is that right?
No, I love the bottom. Well, it is falling off. You know what I mean? This is going on an angle. See it? To me, it's going on an angle. It could be straight. Well, wait up. Is this because
Well, I shouldn't have pointed it out. It's a little cockeyed because
it's a little but that's an easy fix. Because all you have to do is just you can fix that. You know how to fix it. Just straighten it out. Now, if you have a problem, take a T-square and line the T-square up and put a little tick, you know, or if you can do it with your eye. This small, you should be able to do it with your eye. You know, it's just a little bit cockeyed, you know, but it doesn't bother me. It's still, you know, you could probably straighten it out a little bit, you know, here too. It goes downhill a little bit. But that's easy to fix, simple to fix. Okay?
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. Good job.
Thank you.
What is that? Oh, hang on, I gotta get rid of this thing. What the heck is that? How do I get rid of that? I hate when
Errol, that was mine.
what? Whose is that?
Jill?
No, I'm trying to get rid of this. Can you guys see this on my screen?
No.
Oh, okay, then forget about it. I'll get to the painting then. I've got a where am I? Never mind. This thing came up. I don't know.
It's not up there.
It's not?
No.
Okay. Or it was. Okay. Yeah. Hey Joe, how you doing? This is
I'm good. How are you?
yeah, good. Good to see you come out. And Joe, this is really, really a cool painting. You know, I'll show you the photograph. So this is the photograph, and you know, it's Arlington and Lakefront Lagoon. Is that Arlington Heights?
That's
Evanston. That can't be Arlington Heights.
Evanston.
Evanston. Yeah, Arlington Heights. Yeah. So, okay, so we got that. the sun's coming like this, shadow down there, in shadow, nice and light, shadow, 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 shadows, hill, flowers, path, ocean. Okay, nice scene. Okay, let's look at the painting. Okay, so when I first looked at this painting, overall, it's a, you know, it did a good job. But what we can do to make it even better is a couple things. First of all, pay more attention to the proportions. Look at the proportions of this, which is more rectangular. Oops. And this is not quite as rectangular. I think that would help. Also, more importantly, how you've got this in shadow, this is beautiful down here. This is a great color transition. We always want to compare this to this to this. Get something right, right? This is right. Now, this here should be this value right here. And this should be the same value, I think, because, well, this is a little more, this has got some reflected light. But you can see how cool it is, how cool it is. And so be careful, Jill, when you, in the future, to keep your direction of your sunlight, group your colors together. Also, you could really simplify this. You could paint this whole thing dark, this value, and then, or this color, and then mix up a darker color or a lighter color, but still cool, and just pop in a couple with your brush, a couple squares here and there, and it'll read as bricks. Second of all, this here is really warm. These red, it's like a burnt sienna. So compare this to this, cool, warm. Sun's coming like this. This is in shadow. These need to be cooled down, more purple. And I think that we need to slim down these trees a little bit. They've been eating too much pizza, too much ice cream. I just think that it's just, they're a little bit, just, this one's great. Love this one. This one just a little bit, this guy, maybe just a little too much pasta. So this one a little bit more. And then possibly, I was looking at this painting, and you see how this is kind of like nice and airy, and it gives you like a little bit more uplift here, like the trees are going up. I think that if you bring lighten up this a little bit more of a lacy pattern and simplify it a little bit more and make it a little bit lighter, a little more airy, you'll get those beautiful figurative movements of the tree. Think of this tree as a figure. Here's the body, here's the arms, you know, here's the body, here's the arms, you know. It's a figure, you know, and they have beautiful lyrical movements to them. Now I'm not, you know, I don't paint a lot of trees. I don't do a lot of nature, but you know, I try to pay attention when I go out there. I need to do more actually. And then here, be careful, Jill, here, because I think some simplification is in order. You see how this is hot, this path here? Bring this heat right over here, right behind there. Have that a sliver of the path coming through. And then this is a field coming down, grass coming down. And I think if you kind of just simplify it a little bit, not with these hard edges, maybe a little, not so dark, possibly. It is pretty dark in the photograph. You know, I think it'll give it more of a feeling. So I couldn't tell if it was a bush or not, you know. So you've got it all there. Everything is there. These are like little adjustments that you need to make. Also, where do you want the viewer to look? You know, I mean, it's kind of like everything's leading me in, leading me around, leading me back, and leading me back here. So once you get these trees, kind of like, see how light that is? A little bit lighter and a little bit cooler, a little bit thinner. I'm going to go back there. I'm even going to go back there more. And maybe you don't need this thing, possibly. You might not need that. But that's up to you. Okay?
Okay, what would you think about putting the park bench in there? You can see on the real picture.
Oh, let's see where it is.
Put that in for interest.
Okay,
There's
so
no
so
focus.
you know what? If you put that little part, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
You know, a little park bench there. You know, maybe not in that position because you got a tangent. You know, for you guys that don't know, you don't want the bottom of that bench meeting the top of that wall. That's a tangent. So you're gonna want, yeah, you can put it. I mean, yeah, I think it'd be a good idea. What do you think?
Yeah, because I know right now it's like it doesn't really have, you know, like the hero, the focus. It's just kind of like a bunch of stuff. So I was trying to figure out what to put in there.
Yeah, well, I think the whole idea is to leave the body, to leave the back here. When you cool this off, Joe, and simplify it, and simplify this, and maybe even simplify this plant a little bit. If you want someone to go back, then maybe put the park bench back there, you know, or you could just have somebody on the grass, like sitting here on the grass, silhouetted against the lake, just a little figure, possibly, you know. But what's really going to help is when these trees, you know, are going to get you back there.
Yeah.
Okay, and maybe what's this here?
Oops, I don't know. I realized that after I turned it in, I'm like, what is that?
So yeah. So you know, when I just think this is, we need to get over this.
Yeah.
So all you guys keep in mind the direction of the sunlight. Make sure everything's consistent, and the light changes, but you got to stay with your original light.
Thank you so much.
Okay, my pleasure. Okay, Barbara. Good one, Barbara.
Here, you're going to nail me for perspective, I know.
Well, Barbara, I got to tell you something. I mean, I came out and saw Barbara doing this, and we talked about this, and she corrected her perspective. I hope you don't mind me saying, Barbara, your perspective was way up there, you know. You had it, she had it. This is helpful to everybody to see this. And Howard, this is the same thing, sort of the same thing with the, you originally had your cars kind of like going like,
Yeah, I did. So
almost like that. Now you can see that you've flattened it down. You can see what a difference it makes. Now, when Barbara was out here, she was standing
right there.
Right there. Barbara with a paintbrush, a cup of coffee. No, she got it. I love it. She's got her hair too high. No, at the back, she's paid yet. You know. It's just like you, Barbara.
Oh my God, that's perfect.
Yeah, there's Barbara painting. Okay, her easel. All right. It might even be a little bit higher, but her eye level's right here, actually. Right above it. So her horizon line is right there.
Yeah.
Eye level, oh, actually right here.
Yeah.
So really, technically,
it should be even,
even lower.
Okay.
You always want your vanishing point, your V, your vanishing point, to be on your eye level. If Barbara was sitting down here, sitting on a stool, her eye level would be down here. If she was up on a ladder, the vanishing point, her horizon line is there. That means everything, her vanishing point would be right there. That means everything would come up this way. Big mess here, but let me clear all this. So that being said, it's better than it was, Barbara, by far. But when you go out there, make sure you draw a line across your vanishing point. Hold your ruler. Hold your ruler. Hold your ruler. Let me go to the annotation. I like this annotation. All right, so Barbara's right here. That's her eye level. Right here. This is her head. She's going to take a ruler or her paintbrush. She's going to just hold it up with her arm. And this is going to be her horizon line. That's going to be her vanishing point right there. That means all the angles are below her that are in front of her are going to be coming to it. If she had a building over here, that building would be coming to that angle. See? And that would be, okay. You guys get the point.
Yes, that's way cool. I like
Yeah.
that.
So you gotta find your horizon, you gotta get your horizon line and your vanishing point. You did a great job on the cars, you did a great job on the motorcycles, a great job on these cars. These cars look like toy cars. Go back and fix these cars. Because you got this car going out in this direction, this car going in this direction. And the way you simplify these cars, perfect. Simplify these cars. This car, you're going to see more of the back of it. And
Okay.
the same thing here, more of the back of this one.
Okay.
All right, so clear. Clear all those. I love this. All right, so moving ahead.
Thank you.
There is one more thing, Barbara.
Yes, okay.
Be careful. Nice heat, nice heat, nice heat. Maybe a little more. And now maybe it looks warmer in. Maybe you just need the shadows cooler. Maybe a little more purple in there. You know, which if you make this more purple, this will make it more yellow.
Okay.
Like see this purple here? Maybe not that purple. Maybe heat it up a little bit. Okay.
Okay.
All right, great. Okay, so this is Sharon. Are you here, Sharon?
Yes, I am.
Okay, hi. So really pretty, you know, just, you know, another, everybody painted this fountain differently, which is what we're supposed to do. You know, we're all not academic painters. We're all painting like, you know, in the Beaux-Arts tradition. They all do the figure. It all looks exactly the same, you know. Nothing wrong with that, but you know, everybody has their own way. Really, is this oil, Sharon?
Yes,
Sharon?
yes, it is. I was going
so
for just
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
a joyful, playful painting.
Yeah, nice juicy brush strokes, you know, nice application of paint, a lot of energy, you know, and you know, fine. I mean, you know, I know what I'm looking at. I know what the focal point is. I know where I think I know where the sun's coming from. Yeah, the sun's coming from behind it. Yeah. And you know, I like the way you simplified the building. You sent it back. I love all this very, very, you know, French impressionist kind of style with the different, you know, different brush strokes. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's great. I don't really have much, you know, cool. Maybe this line's a little funky. I'm being real picky here, you know. Maybe this tree's a little hard edge, you know, possibly that could be possibly just, it looks like this water looks like water, but it's not water, I don't think. Maybe lighten that tree a little bit, the edge of it. So it sends it just a little bit, just a little here. Lighten the edge, thin it out, you know. What's this? That's the side of the awning?
Yes.
So that comes down, okay. I guess that's okay. Yeah. Very French. Yeah, that's it. Good job. Nice.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay. Oh, Stephanie's. Are you here, Stephanie? I hope not. She's here.
I'm here.
Yeah. Stephanie's, oh, okay, Steph, I'm going to let you have it. So when I saw her do this painting, I came up to her and I said, man, you really nailed that. I mean, the sunlight on this painting was just like beautiful, you know, and I mean, look at the simplification, you know, of the building. She didn't put every brick in, you know, and you know, the beautiful sunlight here, the beautiful sunlight here. And then she told me that she simplified, this wasn't what's back there, but she wanted just to be the eye to go back there and for it to wrap around the building. Very simple there. You know, shadow under the bench. We know what the where's the sunlight? This way, Steph?
Yeah,
So
look at the shadow.
why is the shadow going? Oh, this is underneath. Wouldn't this have more of a shadow going this way, Stephanie?
Yeah.
Stephanie, okay. So
Look at the bench. I screwed up there too.
yeah, the shadow's going this way. Let's see. Yeah, I'm surprised at you. Okay.
Well, you know what?
Give each other a hard time.
Watch
Okay,
where your
so-
son is, you know,
Yeah,
at the
so
different
anyway,
times
so-
to make decisions.
So we talked about this. She said that, well, you could talk about it, Steph. You wanted to change the umbrella shapes or something.
Oh, yeah, the umbrellas are a little wonky. And I tried to push them and make them warmer, and they didn't punch enough compared to the wall. So I'm not sure what to do, but I want to do something with them. And yeah, I don't know what I did about the shadows, but I guess I could change those a little
Now,
bit.
my only complaint thing with this painting is, I told her this, I just feel this person's too small. That's all. I mean, do what you want to do with it, but and maybe the bench could be a little bit, it's kind of wonky, it's kind of going downhill. So that could be possibly.
Yeah,
I just think the person could be bigger because.
Yeah, I just didn't want
That
it.
table
But I
back
just,
there, is
it's
that a
about
table?
the awning. So
That's a table, right, back there?
yeah,
I think maybe a few people sitting at the table would be great.
well, you know,
Yes,
I just didn't want to put more people in.
yeah, okay. You're good at people, okay.
No,
All right.
I got a few, but I know, you know,
Yeah, she's
it
gonna
probably
work-
could, but I'm not that confident in putting people in. And there
Yeah.
were also more tables, but I just love this corner where the bright orange awning hits the
Yeah.
building.
Yeah.
And,
I wish I would have seen that because by the time when I started my demo, it wasn't lit up like this. Here it goes, guys. When you're looking for a location to paint, make a note of the time. Because in the morning when I got there, it didn't look like this. Or if it did, I didn't notice it. Okay, moving ahead.
Thanks.
Okay, Deborah, are you here, Deborah? Hello?
I don't think she is.
Okay, so yeah, so this is another perspective deal. I'm gonna show you guys. I think it's important enough for you guys to show you. Okay, so here we got a person. This is a doorway, right? A fence. We got a person. We got another person. We have another person. You're drawing people from your eye level, your horizon line. That's your horizon line. Heads are going to be the same height. Now, granted, some people are taller. This might be a really giant person, a big basketball player or something. Okay. Now, this is the vanishing point. The vanishing point is right here. So she had, this should have been, this is the vanishing point right there. Because she's looking, her viewpoint is right here. She's looking right here. So all this leads to this vanishing point. So, in this here, these. See this line up here, this lentil? Down to that vanishing point. This. This one. Can't tell you how important this is, guys. It took me, I had such a problem with this. I got to give Stephanie kudos. You don't know she was an architect. I mean, she is an architect. She's not quite. She has a degree in master's in architecture, so she knows perspective backward and forward. And she really taught me perspective. I used to draw everything like I was on the second floor. I mean, always my horizon lines were way up here. Everything was going up here. It took me years to get it right. It doesn't have to take you that long. I'm just a slow learner. Learn this stuff. Learn your perspective. If you're going to draw cityscapes, you have to know perspective. You don't have to you don't have to be able to do like mechanical drawings, but you need to know just the basics, like this, just the basics. Okay. I'm not going to harp on that anymore. All right, moving ahead. Okay, Mary. All right. Nice one, Mary. So you're attracted to the same one Ray was attracted to. And Mary, were you standing by Ray or behind him, or where were you?
I was almost across the street.
A little bit to his right, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, there's a lot of great things in this painting. I mean, great, you get a sense of light. I know where the light's coming from. I really like the light on the stairs. I like the light coming down across the door. Yeah, a lot of good things. Now, what can we do to make this painting better? One thing that be careful on using white and getting your white contaminated, because reds especially contaminated. If I squint down, the flag, I've painted a lot of flags. They're a lot of fun to paint. This flag was kind of like stuck, Mary. Wasn't it stuck in like, where was it hanging from? It was stuck in, it was on a pole. Wasn't there a pole there? Mary, can you hear me?
It was just off to the side.
Oh, I thought there was a pole.
There was definitely a flagpole, but it was just, there.
All right, so I would indicate that flagpole somehow, stuck in something, just something. And then be careful. And then I would be careful to get this railing in front of it. This is a very important element here, because see how it's kind of wonky here? Keep your verticals vertical. It comes down as low as the other one. God, this is fun. And you were looking straight across, so.
That was an angle.
It was an angle. What do you mean?
I mean that it came off at like 45 degrees or something.
Oh, 45, okay. But this is your horizon line. You were your eye level is right about here. So
yes.
So keep your parallels parallel. Oh, I see. This is like this, right?
It should go up. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Okay. And then see, make this a little bit more, bring it a little harder, maybe a little darker, so you really see it. It's very important to see. Then it wouldn't take much. It's all there. This is all there. Everything there. This gets a little darker. And this is in shadow, so it's cooler. Hot, cool, cool. Well, I have to see it where the hot light's hitting it. Maybe it's hitting this edge. Maybe it's raking. I don't know. I have to see what's going on. But look for where it's raking. Then be careful on the flags. Flags can really get away from us as painters. Try not to make the blues like as blue as you think it is, you know, and try not to make the reds as red as you think they are. Make them a little more yellow orange, and instead of using white, mix up a warmer, like this color right here would have been perfect. You see what I mean? You got to do a nice job of curling it. And then, so the flag is hanging. Yeah, so just so we can set, like this is actually, once I define this edge here, this looks perfect. This looks really good right here. I think what's throwing me off the most is the blue. And be careful on the windows that we don't get them too dark, maybe a little bit lighter.
Yeah, I've already fixed that in the
okay,
painting
great,
stuff.
great. This is really sweet here, all this stuff. You could get a little darker down here too, possibly. Darker and cooler, you know, maybe not so much chroma, you know. And what's all this? This is just ivy or
yeah.
Okay. It's, you know, it's all right. And then you know, you can vary your brush strokes too. So you get all your brush strokes going down. Don't be afraid to do your brush strokes this way too. This way, you know, weave them. Weave your brush strokes. Okay.
Good.
So, you know, this is really nice. You can even get a couple hard edges to find right there. You know, and a little more sunlight. You got the sunlight on there pretty good. Okay.
Thanks.
Thanks. Yeah, good one. Okay, so let me clear this. Who's next? All right, Foster Avenue Beach, I think. Julie, right? Julie?
It was Oak Street Beach.
Oak Street Beach, of course. Really nice. Watercolor, right, Julie?
Yes.
Yeah, really sweet little painting. Real nice sense of sunlight. She has a really, you know, you can definitely tell it's a sunny day. It's a, you know, if you squint down at it, she has a pretty good value separation. She's got her light, she's got her midtones, maybe some more darks possibly you could use, you know. Again, I'm not a watercolorist. Let's see, a watercolor, you go from light to dark. So you can add more darks if you want. I mean, not necessary, you know, it's all about the water and the people. I mean, this is great here, this little figure on the beach. Very simplified, these kids, you know, all these little figures, you know, just great. You know, the lifeguard, I mean, perfect. You know, this here, they're looking out this way, and this is bringing me back into the painting, so it's a nice composition. Like it. I'm a stickler for, like, when you get to building straight edges. Like, I just don't like wonky edges. Now, it might be a stylistic choice. If it is, then forgive me. You know, it's fine. You know, 99 out of 100 people are going to not even notice it. But maybe it adds a certain amount of energy to the painting. I don't know. Maybe it's fine. Maybe
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, though. I hear what you're saying.
What's that?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying for sure.
What do you think? What's your opinion? Do you think straighter or?
Yeah, it's probably like a technique problem that I'm just not careful enough.
Let me ask you a question. Do you ever use a ruler? Can you use a ruler? I mean,
yeah, I definitely, yeah.
Maybe under verticals, get yourself a cheap plastic T-square, and I know watercolor sometimes they use a taping system too, but seems like
yeah, I draw them straight, but then I think when I paint them, I kind of go.
Yeah. Well, if you have a hard time holding your hand steady,
yeah,
you know, I mean, it's tough, you know. Use a ruler. I use a ruler. I don't use it too much in plein air, but I use it all the time in the studio. I use T-squares. I use straight edges, all kinds of stuff, you know. And yeah, nice color, yeah, really nice. Good job.
Thanks very much.
Okay, so okay, I'm gonna critique myself. So I'll tell you about this painting. Here it is in the frame. I took it in the frame because I think the color showed up better, but it looks more like this, but I'll talk about this. So I'm gonna be honest with you guys, okay? I'm gonna big confession here. This is a hybrid. I got a new kind of painting. It's not plein air, it's not studio, it's plein studio, it's hybrid. So I'm going to talk also about a little bit about selling paintings on the street. A lot of you guys have sold paintings on the street, I know. Some of you people probably have come up and wanted to buy paintings on the street from you, and maybe you don't have experience with it. So I'm going to give you some tips. One tip is always check out their shoes. And because if they're wearing nice shoes, they can afford your painting. Okay, and if you're not sure what kind of shoe they have on, then
Errol, you better be laughing.
I'm totally being facetious. Okay, so when people come up and they're interested in your paintings, they say, "Oh, is that for sale or whatever?" You know, I told you this when I was doing my demo. You know, I learned this from somebody else. You always want to, you know, the nice thing is to say, this one really good artist said to these people, that were looking, "You've got a really great eye, you know, you see where the painting's going," and they do, because normally they're going to look at a painting that's not done. And they're going to, 9 out of 10 times, they're going to like it when it's like maybe 30, 40, 50% finished. So they deserve to have a little compliment. What I do when people want to buy a painting from me on site, and I have sold paintings on site, right on site, you know, I carry a little clamp along with me, and a little C clamp, a cheap one, you know, a couple dollars from Home Depot. And I keep it in my bag because if they buy it, how are they going to carry a wet painting, you know, loose and oil painting? I clamp the painting, and then they have a way to carry it. You know, they put their finger through the clamp. So that's a little tip for you. Always have a C clamp. If you don't have the cube or some type of way of doing or Venmo, now I use Venmo and I use Zelle. Basically, I don't use the cube much anymore. Zelle and Venmo is great. I used to use PayPal too, but they charge. Venmo and Zelle is wonderful. They don't charge; it's automatic, so you get paid. A lot of times, what I do, if someone comes up, well, let me explain this painting here. I was painting this on the street, and you guys all saw me painting it. And I had people in there, but they were way down the sidewalk. This couple wasn't in there. And they came up and they said to me, "Oh, you know, we live on the street, you know." And I said, "That's great, you know." And they said, "Oh, wow." You know, they liked the painting and everything. And they said, "Oh, you know, is it for sale?" And I said, "Well," I said, "Yeah." I said, "You know, it's not done." And then normally what I do is, and what I did with them, I said, I said, you know, I ask them for their number, and I text them my number, my information. So I have their information. And then they text me back. So right away, I'm not saying send me a text, I text them. So it's like I have that information in hand. And then, so that's a good thing. They're happy to do that. And you say, "I'll text you a picture," which I do, when it's done. And this seems to be a really, if they don't want to buy it on site, it's a very, you know, and if I'm not done with it, then what I do is either, most of the time I do my plein air paintings, I only spend like maybe 90% in the field, 10% in the studio. Maybe I'll do some lettering, a few little touch-ups here and there. And then I'll send them a picture, you know, and text them. And if they like it, they can either come over to pick it up, you know, at my house, or I can drop it off, and they can Venmo me, or they want to come over and look at it. It's a nice way to get a collector to come over and look at your work, you know, and you know, it's safe because you know who they are, and so it's all good. It works out every way. So So that will, you know, you'll sell paintings on the street. And I won't get into pricing. That's a personal thing. You guys have to figure out where you're at and where you are in your career, you know, as an artist. So anyways, this couple came up, wanted a painting. So I said to them, why don't you guys, because I had a person in there. And I said, you know, why don't you guys walk down the sidewalk and I'll take some photographs of you and then I'll put you in the painting. You know, and they love that. They love that idea. So I took a whole bunch of photographs of them. And then this is what I did in the studio. Now it changed my lighting around completely. This was all in shadow originally. This was all in shadow. The person was down here, a little person. But the painting, the cars are the same. This is the same. The perspective's the same. This is the same. The main painting was the same. The only big difference was the people. So I changed it around. It wasn't that hard. Okay, so I would consider this pure plein air. You know, it's more of a. It's probably 60% plein air, 40% studio. So you know, but all this was done plein air. All this stuff. I just enhanced it a little bit. Now look at my perspective, okay? Let's go back to, so I wanted to tell you that about sales. So something people don't normally talk about, but it's good to know. And you know, selling isn't the end all and be all, you know. I mean, you know, it's nice to sell a painting. I paint because I love to paint. You know, it's always nice to have a sale. I always tell people, don't become an artist to sell. Do art because you love painting, which I'm sure you guys all do, you know, and you know, sales just will develop, you know. Okay, so I'm like, this guy's tall. He's a filmmaker, by the way, a documentary filmmaker. And when I wiped out the person that was back here originally, I had a little person back here. He liked the idea that you could see way back and it went down. I said, I'll put you people in, you know, take this person out and put you people in. And I kind of wiped the person out with my thumb. And she says to me, wow, you're an editor, a director, and and Lori, you know about this, you're a documentary filmmaker. You know, kind of like a one-man band, you know, I mean, you're a director, a producer, you know, set designer. And that's what we are as artists. We make decisions about how we're going to want people to look at our paintings. We don't necessarily have to paint exactly what's out there. Okay, back to perspective. I'm about as tall as him. Vanishing Point. You can't see the sidewalk. Now, there was a sidewalk here. There was a line here. I should have taken the photo. I edited it. I edited the lines out. I'm not putting the lines of the sidewalks in. You don't have to put everything in. Put what you need in. Put what the painting needs. Barbara, this is for you.
I'm listening and watching.
Okay, now I screwed up. See this? See this car?
Yes.
Yeah, it's going this way.
They could have parked funny.
My car should be down more like this, down here. I'll fix that. These cars have to be down a little bit.
I don't think you're wrong, Errol, because that street is a circle.
Okay, all right. Well, okay, I won't change it, Mary. Now here.
That's my excuse.
All come down. Here. See? So this guy's taller. So put a box around his head, he's going to be like that. Now his feet, All right, so that's kind of it. Now, very important, if the guy is this tall, when someone's walking down the sidewalk, you want to put a person in, take a look where their head is compared to the tops of the cars. All right, look at the top of the car here and the top of the car there. Look at maybe a piece of the building there. Always be comparing this to this to this to this. Okay, you always want to get everything in proportion. Now, people, when you're drawing people, so I've done a fair amount of figure drawing and painting. So when I'm painting these people, I spent a long time on these people, and I painted them together. But before I put the people in there, I painted everything else. Everything else was painted. Even if I was starting it off, the people out in the field, I would paint everything and then put the people in. Because I want to get the perspective right. Then I put a piece for the head. I put a piece for the feet. I find out where the middle is. I put the shoulders in, the body, the legs. Find out what foot is higher than the other foot. This foot's lower, this foot's higher. This is the bottom of the foot. I mean, I put a lot of time into these people, and I'm not saying they're perfect, but they're believable, and if you saw the photograph of them, it looks like them, even though this head is the size of my fingernail. So what I'm saying is you have to know where to slow down in your paintings. Now, a lot of this stuff is very, maybe more advanced than you have all different level painters in here, but I'm going to tell it to you. You might forget about it, but at some point you might remember it too. You want to remember, you want to slow down in certain parts. Certain parts you got to get the drawing right and get the relationships right. How light is that? How dark is that? How warm is that? How cool is that? If this is this cool, what's the value of this compared to that? How does that value compare to that value? How does this value compare to this value? Where does this value fit with this value? How does this red compare to this red? Is this red hotter than this red on the bike? You're always looking around, never stay in one place. You're always moving your eye, you're always comparing, and it's going to be slow at first, but the biggest thing that I can tell you is always compare. So, let me see.
Errol, we have a couple more paintings that's
Oh, we do? Okay, so let's bring them in. Now, hang on a minute. Are they okay? I'm going to get off
I
my
think
painting.
yeah, I think you should go to the group and let's see what we have.
Oh, where do you want me to go?
If you can go to that all of them, that big grouping of them. They might have been put in early. One is Yelena's.
Okay, I'm going to
The
try
other
to
is
find it.
Sandra's.
I'm going to stop sharing my screen, right?
You don't have to. Well, I mean, you were able to do it earlier.
Oh, okay, there you go.
There you go.
I don't see them.
Uh,
Oh, wait up. Is this one? No, that's not. I started here.
I think
And then-
Elena's is before Ray's.
yeah, go down to that line before that. There you go. Keep going over to the left.
This?
There. Yeah.
Oh, okay, fine. All right, we got Elena's. All right. Neat. Wait, I gotta get my cat out of here. Come on, dude, come on. Okay. Hey, look at the squirrel. All right. I don't see the squirrel in the picture. All right.
Editor.
Yeah, so there's the reference. By the way, you guys, it's a good, I was talking to Mary today, in the future, when other people do these critiques, take a picture of your scene from your perspective. Hold the camera at your eye level and take a picture. It'll be helpful to see what you're looking at. Okay, so we got this.
Hello.
Got this. Okay. Okay. All right.
Is this the right one, Yelena? It says it's from May.
Yes. This is.
Okay. So yeah, really cool, cool painting. I'm familiar. It definitely has your DNA. you know, your brushwork and your paint application. And this is just great because, you know, Elena paints a certain way, you know, everybody has their own signature. And even if you don't know what your signature is, you are going to develop it whether you like it or not. It's going to happen, you know. I mean, you can force it, you know, into something else, but you know, this is her style, and I think I think you did a good job, Elena. I'm just kind of checking things out. The drawing's good. I love the little squirrel on top. The only thing, and if I didn't see the photograph, I wouldn't know. I would say, done, great. You know, a few little things like watch this shape kind of like mimics the shape of the house. This bush, let me see where that bush is. See, well, see, it really does, you know, but that would be something I would edit. I would not make this a triangle, this a triangle, that a triangle. Somehow, even though it is, I would get at least this higher, and I would kind of like, I don't know, get some branches. I would do something to not make it so triangular, you know, and so that would do that. Now, I mean, I like in the photograph, I sort of like the sparseness of this, and I like seeing the house. I like that, and if you didn't show me the photograph, I wouldn't have said anything. However, you made a decision to make the focal point, and you do indicate the house back there. And I'm not sure how you would indicate a few architectural elements. Maybe you could do it just by drawing, like, go to my annotator. So
I did this house before, and I take it out a little bit.
yeah, well, even if you put a few dark lines in there, you know what I mean, in a few areas somehow.
I see. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, like some hard, you know, but going back to the photograph. Oh, I can't. Can I go back to the photograph? No, no. Well, wherever that roof line is. I mean, I'm gonna make this up, but you know.
I see now. Yes.
You know, just somehow that you know there's a house, and maybe you can put one dark window in up there. You know, somehow.
Yeah, I did not.
Yeah.
Take it
you
out
know,
of this house.
Yeah, and make sure your buildings are straight. I'm a stickler when you do architecture. You want straight ups and downs. Okay, so well, it's 9:01, so been nice, guys.
Errol, can you stop sharing for a second?
Yeah, wait, hang on. I like sharing. Okay, I'm here.
Good, all right. Errol, thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah, it was fun.
And
Yeah.
you're in the dark now there.
Hang on, I'll put my light on.
You know, by the way, that person, Jeffrey Spitz, who was the person who bought your painting, I guess, was actually on here with us earlier.
Really?
Yes, and I had invited him because he is thinking about doing a documentary potentially with the Plein Air Painters Chicago.
Oh my
So,
God!
we're going to be talking about that.
Oh my God! Yeah, he told me he's a documentary filmmaker.
Yep, and his specialty is community engagement. So it's something that, yeah, we will continue talking with him about that.
So anyways, hey guys, you can see a painting back here. This painting just is a 30 by 30, okay? And I just want to show you, again, perspective. 1 point perspective, right? This painting is a little bit dark right there, but this is 1 point, there's a person walking across the street. This is all 1 point perspective. So learn the perspective. Okay.
All right, well, thank you, everybody. And thank you, Errol, so much.
Oh yeah, it was my pleasure. Great, thanks everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great critique.
Bye, you guys.
All right.
Bye,
thank you.
everyone.
Thank you very much.